Hey everyone. Now I did an audio about this and you'll probably hear that before or after this. And even though I don't have the issue yet on hand, and hopefully I'll be getting it before we get to Christmas, um, 279 really revealed a lot. Especially, well, 278 in a sense started it with Hidden Cost Part 2. But 279 really kind of established something that we kind of knew was a possibility, but we didn't think was. Sorry about that, I had to check something. But like I said, basically both issues of Sonic 278 and 279 revealed something that we kind of figured was a possibility, especially in this new this new timeline, this new continuity, this soft retcon reboot deal. But we didn't know it would actually, be like this. Basically, as I mentioned in the audio, and I'm going to mention here on camera, what Ian Flynn and I think Aaliyah Baker's doing is they're establishing a story arc. It's sort of a subplot, if you will, involving some of the egg bosses, some of the egg bosses in the region, or the regional egg bosses. And it seems that certain egg bosses like Clove and Cassie, mostly Clove, and Nephitheus, even though I don't, like I said, I don't have the issue yet, but from what I've read online through Bumble King forum and all that, she, along with the Charmin Freedom Fighters, who are they're actually friends. That's surprising. It seems that all four of these characters, if not all five of these characters, are more like, look, what's the point of constantly fighting and fighting against someone like Eggman when it's never ending, when there's going to be no end in sight? What's to them? It's like, what's the lesser of two evils? Constantly fighting and causing tragedy and putting people in harm's way, or just accepting the fact that just accepting that there's not really much you can do, and accepting that accepting him as a ruler, and if he makes you an egg boss, and even though you don't want to be it, if it's a way to protect your people, keep them safe, even though you despise the guy, so be it. From what I get from just reading what people are saying here, is that the characters, we're going to be in, not just here, but in future issues, we're going to be encountering characters that they've just been broken. They've just been like, the fighting against Eggman has just broken them. The constant fighting has just become a breaking point to it. It's like there's no reasoning to do it anymore. It's like it'd be better off just to side with him, be an egg boss, be part of his egg army, even if it's reluctantly, to try to hopefully keep the people safe, keep our fellow citizens safe, instead of constantly fighting and putting them in danger. And to me, this is, as I said in the audio, and I'll say it again, I think this is a great development in a sense, a great character development and storyline development as well, because it's character building. I mean, you even have at the end of Hidden Cost, you have Bunny reveal to Sally that she's known about this when she was undercover. When she was undercover at the beginning of Countdown to Chaos. I think it was part 4. She found out the same thing. That basically, people are just a part of this situation, or just part on Eggman's side, because they're sick and tired of fighting him. They don't want to fight anymore. They'd rather be siding with him with what they believe to be a safer option for them and their people, instead of fighting against him constantly with no end in sight. And to me, again, this is good character developing for these kind of characters. Especially, it's good story developing as well, because now you have the freedom fighters of Sonic, Sally, Bunny, Antoine, and all them basically realizing that there are freedom fighters out there, but but some of the egg bosses they're going up against are not really against them. They just don't want to fight anymore. It's like this fighting, this war, has broken them, and that obviously, and I think this is going to be revealed as well, that the planet being shattered the way it is was the breaking point, and it's like enough's enough. No more fighting. Let's just side with this guy, and maybe things will be all right. But as we find out at the end of Hidden Cost, that's not the case, because Eggman obviously, and hopefully this is going to be revealed as well, is just lying to them. He's just saying what they want to hear. He's just saying what they want to hear so he can get use out of them, so that in the end, should he win, and hopefully this will all be tied in soon, this will all be talked about and mentioned in stories, that all he's going to care about in the end after he wins is just roboticizing them, stabbing them in the back and roboticizing them. And I'm sure that's going to come into play as well. I mean, let's not forget, Axel, one of his regional egg bosses, mentions this. So hopefully that'll be revealed when he encounters the freedom fighters. And then they'll realize, okay, maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe we got to find a way to not only restore the world, but now we also got to find a way to destroy any traces of the roboticizer that might be around. So, again, I like the fact that it's kind of a good character developing here, good story developing, because it shows, even with these new characters and new freedom fighters, or so-called freedom fighter groups, and reluctant egg bosses, that they're not in it to they're not, like with the egg bosses, they're not there because they want to be there, because they want to be part of Eggman's army, because they like, the power and everything he gives. They're just there to protect the people. Basically, like with Nephesius, she's just doing it for appearances. She's making it look like, yes, you do what the Eggman says, oh, you will be roboticized. But when the camera's off, it's like, I apologize for acting like that to you, but I've got to do that for appearances. It's basically like, it's good character developing and story developing, and I like that. I really do. And you can kind of tell that Aaliyah's kind of rubbing off on her husband when it comes to that, because I don't think anybody would expect that out of Ian with his stories, but they possibly would expect it anyway with Aaliyah. So I like the idea that it's good character developing, and hopefully in the end it's going to lead to something. I mean, obviously Orbot kind of confirmed or said something at the end of one of the stories, asking if Eggman was afraid that this might all backfire on him, that him basically lying to all these egg bosses that are joining him for protection to keep the people safe is going to backfire on him when it's found out that he's just been lying out his butt, and that he's just using them for what he wants. So I don't know when Ian is planning to do that, or Leo, whoever's going to come up with the story, is planning to do that. But I do know that I like the direction it's going with, because now it gives the freedom fighters more to fight for. It gives them more of a reason to not just restore the world and put a huge dent in Eggman's plans and all that, but to finally get people to wake up and realize, look, this guy's not the threat you think he really is. He's just afraid himself. He's just scared himself. He's not the threat that you think he is, and that he's just using you. So he's just lying to you. He's using you. He doesn't care about you. I mean, I'm sure they're going to have some kind of story down the line where if it's revealed that Nephesius and the Charmin Freedom Fighters are just putting up acts for appearances on both ends because they don't want nobody to get hurt, I'm sure Sonic or somebody's going to come up to them when they meet up again and say, look, I know you guys are afraid, but if you keep lying to yourselves, you're lying to the people, and the real harm is going to come to them. So you need to wake up and realize it's time to be legit freedom fighters, not just some make-up group because you're afraid. You know, but again, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Like I said, and I know I sound like a broken record here. I love the character developing. I love the story developing. I think it's one of the best so far because basically now like I say, you've given the freedom fighters given them more of a reason to not just restore the world, but to put an end to Eggman's tyranny. Now, I wouldn't be surprised either if part of the story developing and them kind of being like broken and not wanting to fight anymore, if that might be an influence of, let's say, the Dark Gaia, gas and powers, and the Dark Gaia powers or gas, fumes floating around, and it's influencing them, making them think, oh well, it's no use, da da da. So, that might play a part too, and that would be interesting as well. So, but again, overall though, I love the character development. I love the direction they're going in, because it's giving them more of a reason. It's giving them more of a reason to fight, and giving them more of a reason to get people on their side against Eggman, to fight against Eggman, and wake them up and realize that, hey, there's nothing to be afraid of. So, overall, I love the direction it's going in. I love this new direction. I am going to do a review. Do not worry. My review and monthly opinions, the last monthly opinions and review of 2015 will be coming. But I just thought I'd come out here on a video version of the audio that I did and kind of mention that I like this direction. I really do. And hopefully they can keep up with it. And that's all I'm going to say, folks. So until next time, God bless. Take care. Let me know what you think of this new direction they're going in. What do you think? What are your thoughts on these sudden developments? And I'll talk to you all later.